What do you do with the Bitcoin besides it just gather value?
Real estate developers in New York City, they're not buying the real estate because they want to live in it.
But like most of the people who are buying assets at some point want to sell the assets at a profit.
People that use fiat currency as a store of value, we call them poor. We call them poor. People that use fiat currency,
we call them poor. Hey guys, yes. Welcome to the channel. My name is Gerald Peters, and this is the Money Flow. We have a lot of names on here, but today we're talking about the second income stream, trying to get fucking rich. And my guest here is the young lady that helps me maintain, run, and produce content for you guys and put out stuff and keep the strategy under control. Jess, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing, GP?
Doing good, man. Just we were talking earlier and thought we'd put out, I think one of the things that people get confused with most is margin, how margin works. And I don't consider myself
like on E-Trade, everyone's on margin. So it's kind of, you got to compartmentalize that at first.
Takes a second to understand. And the two brokers we've always recommended for the second income stream are M1 Finance and E-Trade. I recommend those because that's what I use. I don't recommend anything I don't personally. I use Coinbase. I recommend Coinbase. I don't recommend things I don't personally use. I trade the money flow. I sell books about the money flow. We don't say one thing and really do another. We're not trying to do that. There are plenty of other brokers that work. As soon as I say that, people go, "What about Charles Schwab?" Guys, I don't know about every single broker in America, but I can. E-Trade and M1 basically do the two basic ways that I've ever seen. M1 Finance, if you take on a margin, that money goes to your balance. Like say you borrowed $10, they put $10 in your cash balance. So in fact, you've taken out just what would be considered a standard loan, right? That gives you money, they put it in your checking account, there's the money you borrowed. E-Trade doesn't work like that. Now, you could go to the ATM and pull money out. We'll mention that in a minute. But if you buy 100 shares or 10 shares, usually the margin maintenance requirement is what you're putting up. That's what's coming off your balance. So, which comes out to, like, for CLM, CRF, for our anchor funds, most of them are 30 or 35% maintenance, right?
Right.
Which means you got to have 30 to 35 cents per dollar to maintain that position. That's what that means, maintenance, to maintain it. And if they raise the maintenance, you're going to see your available, your margin come down, right?
Right.
Yeah, and now it's requiring you to have more money to maintain that position. And they'll do that for you automatically if you're holding a position. They'll take it right off your margin, you know? Which way's better? I think it depends on the person. What do you think?
It just depends.
Right.
They're two different strategies, really.
They are. They're the same strategy, but different ways of.
It's like the M1, you're taking out like a loan against your portfolio. It's like you're being your own bank. Here, you can just, in E-Trade, you're just taking money out if you have money available to withdraw, but you're not taking a loan out on your portfolio. You're taking a loan with the broker for your margin.
Maybe. So Justice let us use her account, and if we need to, we can look at mine too. And you might catch me before I get anywhere. She's at. And I'll tell you the one difference is I pull money out of mine.
Yeah, I don't do that.
And you don't do that. And I use mine. But I started off. And, I got to 100 plus, a little faster. And then some of the money I was putting in there is money I needed to use. And so this allowed me to keep the money, invest the money, right? Be fully invested. This is the magic of margin. We can be fully invested. all of our money's in CLM in the tiers. And the next video that follows, I'm going to do some whiteboarding of some of this shit we're talking about. So you guys stay tuned, and I'll try to, I finally figured out how to do that, to connect it to an end of a video that it'll play the next. So that's pretty cool. And what you're seeing here is you're seeing her account. You're seeing the percentage on the portfolio to the right. Show people where they can set that up. I think it's just right above where you have.
Where you go customize?
Right. You know what? I never even clicked that. I've always done it a roundabout way, but it says it right there.
And then right here is the first one.
Right.
Percent of portfolio. You see that? It's checked right there.
Yeah.
Save.
And so these are all the things that'll come up when you see your stock.
So here it is.
If you don't want one of these, when you go to that customized list, just take it off.
Yeah. This is what I have.
You can do all this.
Yeah, look at all the stuff you can take off and add.
Look at it. Some of this shit, I don't even know what it is. Like, what is that? I mean, some of these things, who cares? You can actually put how much the dividend is. That's kind of cool, though. So one thing, too, I might add, and I'm talking fast because we didn't want to do too long a video. You can give it a name. So where your view, it says view and it says just, you can have 10 different setups.
Yeah.
So I thought of creating one that just shows dividend stuff, dividend date, dividend amount, dividend yield.
Okay, that makes more sense.
That'd be cool, right?
Because this over here, dividend, like it makes it so long. Like I don't know.
Right, it makes it almost unusable because you're having to scroll over on a phone. You can't even read it.
But the computer actually is pretty good. It's not bad.
Not bad on a computer.
I just don't care that much. It changes.
So what's important there, if you notice, you're going to see tier ones are taking up 50% of her account there. I mean, right off the top, CLM, CRF, that's 60%. I like it. So, but what you'll find is if we look at her available margin withdrawal is probably low.
Yeah, I did transfer a chunk of money earlier, so that should reflect like Monday or Tuesday. This should go back to like $2,000.
And we have it low, and obviously I teach that should be about 30% of your balance, not the overall portfolio, but your balance. Mine is below that. Yours is below that because we'll trade aggressive. You have got to understand if you do that, you are the one that's going to pay the price if it turns on you, because it's going to go down exponentially just like it went up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now if you can be fully margin and all that in a nice up run, I mean, you could stack some money. If you're going into a stage 3, you really need to be aware that this market could roll over and come down, and you might, just cross-check your portfolio and make sure, hey, if I need to raise some liquidity, get ahead of that and think, okay, what might I sell if I need to? I mean, I'm sure off the bat, 3 or 4 things you would just cut.
Yeah, like the 100%, the trades,
the
100% margin maintenance.
But
I'd cut MSTX.
And here's what people will say: you have so many. How can I keep up?
XLP, Chevron.
But the reality is, you don't need to track every one of these like a day trader, right?
Right.
Like we're not doing anything with CLM or CRFs. There's nothing to track there, right? What's the next one? ECC. What are we tracking? The only thing we're tracking is, are we buying more?
Right? Yeah, I have it on the buy list.
Because we don't trim them just because they turn down.
Yeah, ECC's back below the 20.
Right. So the only tracking we're doing really is like when to buy more. So
the RSI,
yeah, the RSI, and maybe we'll have to do another short video how we use the RSI because we use that RSI differently than we do trading the standard money flow trading system.
Right.
But really, what I wanted to point out, the percentage. So in the top 3 or 4, you have almost all of your money. Look at that. And it's tier 2 or tier 1. The first 3 are tier 1s.
Right.
If you have a tier 3 and your top 3 picks, you are not doing the second income stream. Right.
Right.
You're doing something else. So when you blow up, don't blame me. How long okay, well, that's a tier 2. But
And then
the making margin on it is 30%.
right. And it's an index.
You could almost make that thing a tier 1, but other than the NAV erosion on it. Okay, now we're getting into, finally, there's another one, but it's still a tier 2 because it's based around an index, right?
Well, yeah, then the S&P, now we got another anchor.
Right.
Anchor,
Now,
index, anchor.
If you're doing the second income stream with us, look at your top 10 and let me know how many tier 3s you have in there. And if you have more than one, you're probably fucking this up. You might want to get on one-on-one with me. Now, it might get temporarily happen because you loaded up on some and it took off.
Yeah.
I would start scaling it back. That's how that's when I would, based on the percentages on the right-hand side, and I would move that money back to the top. The goal is to get all the money from the bottom to the top. At the end of the day, all of our money's in these closed-end funds when we're only making tons of money, and we don't need to fuck around with a CEPI or a fucking whatever,
Yeah.
Now, Jess is very active. She's watching all the time. So she's going to have hips in there. These are inverses.
Hips is an anchor. Hips is a high income.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I'm not in hips. I'm not in BISD either. So you got a few here that I'm not in that have I have a little BISD. Let's see.
SPY.
Now here's the thing. The reason you're NVIDIA is you bought it on the bottom on that crash.
Yeah, then I added to it.
Yeah. OR. So yours should look sort of like hers. You're not going to get them to match our exact. And like if I pulled mine up, they're not going to be.
Like here's the trades down here: CART, MSCI, Exams, Chevron, XLP.
Now, when you say trade, you mean you're going to get out?
Maybe if it's a swing trade, if it's a position trade. Now I'm never getting out of CART or Uber.
Yeah,
but Chevron, this is I cut it in half today as a BNB trade. I wasn't but I just cut it in half. I was in Starbucks, but I closed it when I hit the 200 just to raise some cash.
Right.
But I'm never gonna close CART. I'm never gonna close Uber.
These are things that
I might not close XLP or TLT.
Uber to anchor it. It's part of my anchor because I had no intention of ever. But see, I'll have people mention a penny stock there and Moodar because they have no intention. I'm like, dude, bullshit. That is not a stock you're going to spend the rest of your life with. Uber will be here after I die. So that's an anchor stock. ENVX, that's not an anchor stock.
Yeah, like NVIDIA could be an anchor stock because it
could be. I wouldn't personally use it because the volatility is too big. If they can come out with a $4 million app that can drop your company by $1 trillion or whatever, there was an app. That's going to really mess your margin up. So keep that in mind when we say that. Like a Microsoft would work great, a Coca-Cola, a Pepsi. If you have a huge position, move that over. They're going to give you margin. And the reason I moved Uber over is I was going to sell it. I don't want to sell it, but I needed money. Well, I can move it into my margin account, let it settle. I now get a bunch of money, right?
Right.
Well, what was I took it and invested it all into my tier 1s. Now every time these tier 1s pay me, it's like I'm getting my Uber money back. Bam. Man, I get excited.
I transferred my Uber and CART over as well.
Yep. And I got CART in there. It's funny, we have the exact same too.
Obviously.
I get excited when I start talking about that. So there's so much. And last week, me and Ethan were talking about combining the concept of combining M1 and E-Trade, where because like in M1 you can buy BITO. BITO pays what? Almost a 50% dividend yield.
Yeah, here.
Bitcoin, and it only has a 45% maintenance. What is it in E-Trade? Like 100%. Okay, so there's a reason you might want to have 2 accounts. and you get a big position in BITO, you can borrow against it and then buy CLM, which is paying 18%.
Yeah, CLM's 30%.
And as you stack, we got on that conversation because as you're stacking Bitcoin and Coinbase, you can borrow against it now. And I was like, yeah, I'd borrow against all my Bitcoin and go buy BITO. And then I would take the money from the BITO and start buying more Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And you can just play that game in your head all day long. I mean, people don't play that game, though. I mean, you were playing it after you listened to Sailor Talk. You were like, I can, what I mean? Like, you get you thinking like that.
Yeah, you just get into it.
Yeah. So let's pull up, here, drop yours down for just a second, or I will. I got it. And let me pull mine up. All right, this one's mine. What the fuck? All right, I pulled it up for the percentages there. What was your top one? It was like 31%?
1 second. My CLM was 31%.
All right, but we have the same top four.
Yeah,
CRF.
CLM, CRF, ECC, and QQY.
Yep, same top four. So three
Yeah.
and a tier 2, which is based around an index. So when a guy contacts me and he has 3 tier 3s and just a little bit of a tier 1 in his top 4 or 5, and he's wondering why he's not doing as well. It's like, because you're not properly aligned with the tiers.
Right.
And so keep that in mind and watch that, man. Don't try to play that. Like, there's a reason we're doing it this way. There we go. Right, you back. Now, you want to check on this. You want to look at the margin.
Yeah, so you go here, you click margin.
Yeah, and that's on where portfolios, right? Where you see position.
Yeah, positions. You scroll right over here in the middle to margin.
Yep.
E-Trade house requirements. Like, which one you want to look at?
What?
CLM.
Yeah, but it'll give you a whole list of them, right?
You can include up to 10 tickers in your list.
Yeah, but I mean the ones you already have, it'll show you the maintenance currently.
Oh, yeah.
Well, see, a lot of people don't know this.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
You need to periodically just scan your list.
So you can do it by requirement.
So she's got a couple. You have 2 on there that have 100, right?
MSTX and MISTY.
What that means, guys, is that to maintain that position in a margin account, 100% of it is your money. So think about, that's what that means. It's a margin account. The maintenance is you think about maintenance on a house or maintenance on a car. It's like the minimum you need to do to keep this fucker going, right? So the minimum you can do is, that's dollar for dollar. But if you look at CLM, it doesn't have a mathematical, does it? It's probably, 30%. That means 30 cents buys $1 of something paying 18% dividend yield.
So only 6,100 of it is my money.
And how much do you control? 20,000?
Right here, 20,380.
So
that's crazy.
And this is rough math. It's just rough math. But what about your interest rate, Jim?
Then you see here CRF and the value.
The CLM, you have, what did that say, 6,000?
Right here, 6,114, and the value is 20,380. All
right, so your interest, your dividends earned on that are $3,600, right, on CLM on the 20
for the year. Yeah.
Okay, but you only have $6,000 holding it down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, if you have 6,000 and your dividend return is 3,600, I think that's a lot, like 55%.
Yeah, because it's leveraged with the margin.
Right. But you can get 1% cheaper at Robinhood. This is kind of shit we're debating. Rather than picking better, you make more money worrying about the funds you're picking, the position sizing, how you've got it arranged. Spend your time on that. Less time on worrying about what you're paying. I'm telling you, there's people who can't even explain the tiers to me, but they're very concerned about their interest rate. And it's like, that is not your fucking problem. Your problem is building out this thing the proper way, right?
Right.
Yeah. And then once that's done and you understand it and you can explain it to me and do it on a whiteboard, and you're an expert, then we'll dig into what your interest rate is. Because by then you're going to have a lot of money and it's going to matter. When you have $10,000 in your fucking E-Trade, interest rate is not your problem. In fact, you haven't put any fucking money in is your problem. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Yeah. The fact that you don't have enough money.
Yeah, that'll be my reel on that. That's the goddamn problem, not your interest. But everyone
See,
does interest rate right
I
away.
like OARC as tier 3 because it only has 30% margin.
Okay, you just taught me something. I did not realize that OARC has dropped to 30%.
I've told you a couple times.
I know you have, right? And then how would a guy
Yeah.
know this? How would I ever know? You would come and click, and I should have been doing this. I probably saw it visually, just didn't think anything of it.
Yeah. So it's 30%. It's like a safe tier 3 because it's a basket of stocks.
I don't think I'm carrying OARC in my margin account.
I added it on the sell-off because it was only 30% margin.
Oh, so you were tracking margins of the different funds, and then you noticed that it was lower now.
Yeah.
Did you post that in Discord or anything?
Someone else had raised it. Someone else did.
So someone in our group brought it to our attention, and then you were able to go and buy it.
Right.
Income, and now it's gone up since you did that, right?
Yeah, it's because I bought it during the sell-off.
That sounds
I
a
mean,
lot.
I just added 25 shares today, like to kind of reinvest the dividend. Where is this shit? Sorry. OARC, yeah, I'm green. I'm up 5%, but I added 25 shares today. I don't know if that, but I'm green because I started OARC during the sell-off.
Because you realized the margin was only 30%.
Yeah. And I was like, it's a pretty safe,
Right. Yeah.
even though the dividend is not that high on OARC, it's only 30%, and it's like has all their stocks in it.
Yeah, I don't know how we'll survive on 30% yield, but it's really high, right? So I guess the point I'm trying to make is how valuable, because I get people tell me Discord and all that. That's not for them. It's not valuable. Those are fucking idiots. Because having
Right.
more people look at these things makes us all better.
Yeah, there's more people looking.
And I should have known that, but I guess what? I'm also doing this, just like
But
a lot
as soon as I found out, I told you so.
I know, and
It's
I
the
should have.
same thing.
My point is that's the service we bring to people. That's why you want to spend the $190 or whatever it is to get on the people trying to save some money on that, not pay it. You're just losing money because you're going to find out about these things like I just did after it's already moved and they've already made the money.
Right.
So take advantage of this, man. Take advantage of what we're doing. And we have a list of 22 of our funds that they're all tier ones? No, they're all paying what is it?
Weekly.
Weekly. It's 22 of them now. It's fucking crazy.
There might be more though.
And I'll have it down in the description. Every time we post this and write an article, we turn around, there's 2 more.
Yeah, so we have to keep writing a new one.
We used to have 5, and then it was 7, and then it went to 9. And
9.
Now, we might have 100 of them soon. That's fine. I'll buy all 100. You don't have to do that. A lot of them are overlap. And at some point, we're going to really get into researching that. Like, there's really no reason to buy this one if you own this one. And there's, other than if you just want to.
Yeah, the funds are like too new.
Right. And if you get a lot of money, it might make sense to let Round Hill have a little, because maybe their office messes up or something.
Yeah.
But people jumping on these new ones right away, you don't even know if they're going to work out. People just, a lot of people take a lot of shit for granted. It's on there, so it must going to work, and be very careful. I was doing the second income stream for about 9 months before I even told Jess about it and started looking at trying to do it publicly. Yeah, there's the article. Don't show them all of them. They won't click on there.
Yeah, this is the article.
Yeah. So let's see. I wanted to show you this before we get off here.
You're up 2%. I think I'm
All right.
still in red.
That's just because of when you got on the bus, right? Depends on when you
Right.
get on, right? So if you start your second income stream at a high, you run the risk that it could turn down. It doesn't fucking matter. It only matters to their pea brain. It
I'm
really
only
doesn't.
down 5% now.
Right. It was a lot more. It doesn't even matter, right? You're still getting the dividends.
It was down like 16% or 12%. Yeah.
You
Now,
want
yeah, exactly. I'm so well, and when the market goes down, the dividend yields go up.
you weren't thinking about doing away with yourself?
No.
Dude, there's people blow out. They get 15% down. They quit the damn strategy. They're done. Well, I mean, I'm serious. During this last correction, you would not believe the person after person who sent me ugly messages and blew out.
Yeah, I'm only down 5.6%. I used to be down double digits, like 14, 12,
What were you making?
15%.
Maybe 30,000 in annual dividends when the sell-off started,
Yeah, like 32,
and now you're at 40 something,
46,500
into a correction. And
after
then,
the correction.
yeah, but I'm saying we went into one, and then you came out. Now your income went up 16,000 a year.
Yeah.
With the exact same account. Instead, they sold everything, and now they're still down in
Yeah.
the income.
Yeah, we have a post going through like the margin calls that I got
So
during that time.
rate that to people. Don't sell-offs and stage fours are part of nature. It's supposed to happen. And anything that goes wrong, that you may just have your setup wrong or your percentages, just learn from it and keep pushing, man. No, I was very proud of you for that your income went up. You stayed the course. We had some moments where we talked and felt like maybe this went really cutting some
Yeah.
things, but we didn't. I mean, there were people in our Discord group freaked out, sold things, changed the
Yeah.
strategy.
I mean, again, I almost sold ECC right at the bottom because I was freaking out.
But just talking
But
about
people,
it, you let
yeah.
sometimes just saying shit out loud, you realize, wow, I sound dumb. Like this is not what I'm
Yeah.
supposed to be doing, you know?
Yeah, like in this article and where I like talked about satisfying the margin calls, I started positions in GLDY, YMAX, OARC, and EIC. And then
So
like later I started REM and SPY-I. So like I started a lot of new positions on the sell-off.
the S&P is up not even 1%.
Yeah.
So it looks like we're beating it by 2.5%.
Yeah, you're beating it.
That's a lot. So if this was up 10, that puts us up at 20 something.
Yeah.
Right. And you're getting paid big fat dividends. So anybody's not doing this stuff with this. I mean, you might want to check yourself, man. Like it's crazy to me that you wouldn't be excited because we're so excited about it that it's hard to
Yeah.
even look at Coca-Cola. You know, people are checking. What do you think about buying Coke on this dip? Okay. It's so fucking boring, dude. Okay, buy your Coke, get your fucking $14 every 3 months, while I make my 9,000 a month over here. Fucking like you know, what I mean, it's just
It is crazy.
it is crazy. Not to say we've abandoned all the other stuff. We're still doing that. We still do the old thing, but this is a way to accelerate it and make it go much faster. I have $700 something thousand invested in traditional dividend stocks, and I make more with my second income stream with 7 times less money. So whatever that means. Now, there's people will tell me, well, one day you'll be okay. Well, one day maybe that happens. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, what's gonna happen?
I don't know. You know, if you learn some skills, you learn position sizing, you learn how to. If you just learn, a lot less happens bad to you. Is my experience. And we'll keep an eye on yours. You're down 5%. I guarantee you, within the next 6 months, once you've been through a few cycles, picked up some lows, now you're back. You'll be ahead of it, and then you'll stay ahead of it after a
Yeah,
while.
so yeah, right now year to date, I'm down 5.7.
And it was 15 something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're creeping up, man. That's what's happening.
Yeah, I've traded away. I've had some good trades too.
Yeah, but how can't beat the stock market, Gerald?
Like Starbucks. Chevron. There's been some good ones.
Oh, how about
Amgen. I trimmed Uber and Cart and MicroStrategy and Zim recently. I put Zim back on, some of Zim back on today.
So here's my IRA of 8%. And the market's up 0.8, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a big fucking difference. But you can't beat the market. You can if you have an edge and you practice it and you do it every day. But no, can the average person who pays it little attention, spoons all day, doesn't work overtime, and sits at home fucking playing with himself, he cannot beat the market. No.
No.
No. Now, I have one account not beating it. My SEP IRA almost always is directly in line with the fucking S&P, because if you look at the top 10 holdings, they're in the Dow and the S&P top 10. So it just tracks right along with it. So the way I beat that over time is I wait till something big happens and I load up on one thing or two things, and when they rip, I made more money than,
Yeah.
And that's how you beat the market. People don't understand that. You track with the market, and then it's what you do along the way when crashes happen, to things you pick up that other people aren't watching. That's how you beat the market. But
yeah, like in this article we have, like the part 5 of the margin call series, like I gave updates like of the new positions I opened, like anchors, EIC, and REM. Then like tier 2, I added on the sell-offs YMAX, SPY, and the new gold fund. And then tier 3, I added OARC and MIST.
the value on these letters is I mean,
But it's like I still need to add YMAG.
yeah.
There's just only so much you can add on each sell-off.
And people got to remember that. And it's okay. You're doing the whole portfolio.
You see here I wrote loaded up on OARC. 200 shares was during that sell-off.
Right. And so what we're doing there, you can't add to everything, and that's okay. It's okay. There's shit red on your screen. It's okay. It's totally fine. AG&C's been red on my screen for 9 fucking years. It's never been green, ever. And yet the dividend gets bigger and bigger, and the balance gets bigger and bigger, and it's always red. How does that work? I don't know, but it does. So people will let that fuck with them, though, because they're looking at it like trading, or they're looking at it like they're buy and hold,
Yeah.
And that's just not, you got to look at it like a business. You're putting shit on the shelf, money comes off. Put shit on the shelf, money comes off. And every once in a while, you got to put money back in. That can either look like you don't take anything out, you just let it.
Yeah, I put in 1,000 this week. I didn't put in any last week, but I try to put in every week at least 500 to 1,000 or 2,000.
Right, so you get where you're going. And a lot of people want to talk about the retirement part. It's like, we just started 30 days ago, bro. Can we build?
I'm like, I don't want to talk about retirement. It sounds like I'm gonna get Alzheimer's.
Retirement, and what they're not talking about is fucking position sizing and making sure they have their things right, and that's the important stuff. Is getting the tiers right.
ESEC is 4 cents a share.
4 cents.
I gotta add more to get this dividend to $100.
Yeah, I'm trying to get mine to. I love those 3-digit dividends. But all right, man. I want to keep everybody on here. We just wanted to bring you on and show you what we're doing, a little behind the scenes there.
I've had to check the position size and the margin maintenance.
Mm-hmm. And Jess is on that shit. I'm on it. We're probably both looking for different angles at times. So what we're looking at, you yourself are going to have a hard time covering the whole thing. I mean, not you, but them.
Yeah.
Because how are you gonna go find a new closed-end fund while you're spending all your time looking at balancing? And it's only so much time in the day, and so I think that's what we offer. Is we have a lot of collective minds talking about the same thing. We then put it and just disseminate it out to people to save you time. So if you're at work, got the kids, you're doing all these things, you can stay in tune, stay in touch, and just by following the Peters report. Right there, you want to learn to trade, we got you. And then now the second income stream. So we got you on the trading and we got you on the passive. What else do you need? Do I need to come to your house and rub your neck? What do I need to do? So I think we got them covered. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we got them covered.
If you want to get into trading, man, hit us up. My number's on there, 936-661-7786. That's this right here. I'll answer. I won't answer the phone, actually. I don't know why I said that. I answer all text messages, though. And we'd love to have you with us. And it's shocking how fast people's passive income starts climbing. It really does take over their brain, and they become obsessed.
Yeah.
You're obsessed with it.
Yeah, obviously.
I'm obsessed. I have to pull myself away from it at times, so because I have other things I got to be, bigger picture.
Put your money, yeah.
Between podcasts and real estate and writing, I can't fixate on one thing. But if I could, if I was 23 years old right now, I would do fucking nothing with the second income stream. I wouldn't talk to a girl. There would be no dates unless she's paying. I would be 100 fucking % second income stream. And by the time I'm 30, I am rich as fucking done. Or here's an idea: don't. And just work your whole life. I'm dead serious. This is an opportunity for people. Imagine if you'd had this at 22.
Yeah, I'd probably be financially free. Easily.
Yeah, easily. Fucking easily. Blows my mind. I
was 15 years ago. 22.
I was 13 years old. And
12 years ago, yeah.
Be like, Dad, I need a B-Trade account, man. We got to make this happen somehow.
Now it's so easy.
Yeah. So the idea that people are still thinking about this thing, I don't know, man, it blows my mind, dude. It's so addictive. When you get $1,000 dividend or a $500 or $400 dividend, and it's like, fuck, have I been going to that place for? It's mind blowing. But I think that makes me happiest is we already have people leaving jobs and stuff. That wasn't my intention. My intention wasn't a bunch of people didn't go to work.
Yeah, they might have been already on that path.
And they were old enough, and they were able to see a way of quickly having lots of passive income. And in 18 months, I 3x'd what I had been doing for 20 years in the stock market. So to tell you how fast that can happen. And you could probably figure it out on your own, but you'll get there a lot faster if you let us help you. A lot faster. You got anything else?
That's it.
Man, I appreciate you. We've done a lot of content today.
Yeah, we have. It's good. Hopefully it's helpful.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully so. Hey, you guys, all you got to do, hit that QR code. Just put together a list. 22 stocks that pay you every week. Get in them this weekend, or by Monday, they're going to start paying you by Friday or Saturday.
Every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday now for the weeklies.
Like that. You're getting paid. Connect with us. Get in. We have a chat group on there. We'll drop this in the chat, I'm sure. And if you have any questions, you can hit us up in there. You can text me. We're here to help. That's it, man. Appreciate you, Jess.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Bye, guys. Boom. Let's come on with our music.
There's a name for them.